is nothing more important in Call of Duty than having the right settings so you can hit all your shots and just feel great on the game. So I'm going to go through and showcase everything I'm running for Black Ops 7, starting off with the controller tab, obviously because I am on controller. I have my aiming input device set to controller with my button and stick layout both set to default. I'm on a scuffed PS5 controller, so I do have 4 back paddles allowing me to jump shot, drop shot, pretty much do everything that I need. If you don't have back paddles though, find whatever you feel the absolute most comfortable with, or if you still want to play on default, what I used to do before my paddles is I used to play claw with my index fingers, so my thumbs never had to leave my analog sticks. For my sensitivity, I have 1.55, 1.55. You guys know for Warzone, I was running 1.6, 1.6. This slight little difference just feels a little bit better for me for Black Ops 7, and I feel super consistent with it. Overall, when it comes to sensitivities though, I always tell you guys, the lower the sense, you're probably going to be more consistent, but this is 100% personal preference. You guys go super high sense, super low sense, whatever you feel the best with. And scrolling down, we have off, 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 off. Again, this is another personal preference setting. If you want to switch L2R2 to L1R1, you definitely can. I just never have in the past, so I'm not going to do it for Black Ops 7. For the controller vibration, of course, we have that turned off. Trigger effect, we have it turned off, which I'm pretty sure this is only a PS5 controller setting. This is like the haptic feedback with the controller, and there's really no point to have that on. For the dead zones, super important. I've been going back and forth for my left stick minimum. I'm running 0 for most of my games, but I'm going from 0 to 1. Overall, I just want it to be more responsive, so the lower the dead zone, the better. For the left stick maximum, again, same thing as Warzone. This lowers the movement threshold, so you don't have to move your left stick as far to fully activate your movement. So we have 0 and 75 for the left stick, and for the right stick, I have 3 and 99. Again, the lower the dead zone, the more responsive, which I feel like is super important with Black Ops 7, especially with the lower aim assist that we have, because you want to be really on target with your shots, and you want to be able to track people a little bit better. But this is, again, all up to you and your setup, because your controller might have more stick drift, or you might just feel more comfortable with a higher dead zone. And for the left and right trigger, set both of those to 0. For the aiming tab, for the top, we have sensitivity multiplier. I haven't messed with this at all because I'm going to do it later in the settings. And then going down, we have look inversion, everything set to standard. Aiming advanced settings, we have the ADS sensitivity transition timing set to instant. I think when you first get on the game, this is set to gradual. You want to switch it over to instant. For the third person ADS correction type, we have assist. And then for the aim response curve type, we do still have it on dynamic. I think it's still the best option. I've been running it for years on Call of Duty, ever since like MW 2019. And I still think it's the best option right now in Black Ops 7. I've been seeing more and more people say that linear feels better with the lower aim assist that we have. But again, I just think dynamic is by far the best option, and it just feels the best. Then for the custom sensitivity per zoom, this is what I was talking about. I have 0.9, 0.9, 0.9 for low zoom, 2 to 3, and 4 to 5. And then everything else we have 1.0, which this is a multiplier based off of your original sensitivity. So I have 0.90 of my 155. Then going down, we have the target aim assist turned on, which like I said, was nerfed in Black Ops 7. It's pretty noticeable, especially close range. But you do start getting used to it with more game time. And I feel like with my current settings, I've been snapping on people. And then we have the motion sensor settings completely turned off, so the advanced tab doesn't even matter. Let's hop directly into the movement tab. At the top for the sprint assist, we have my tactical sprint assist. Again, very similar to Warzone. This makes it to where all you have to do is move your left stick up, and it immediately puts you in a full tac sprint animation. And then if you hit shell more, I have 0 with my sideways and backwards both turned on. We have mantle assist turned off, crouch assist turned off. I actually don't know how this got turned back on. I'm going to turn my corner slice off. This is that setting where you walk up to a corner and you ADS. It gives you a little bit of a lean, sort of like Rainbow Six Siege. I don't really see like a negative to it. I just realized I don't really use it that much. So I'm just going to turn this off. You can definitely turn it on if you want to. Wall jump assist, I have it turned off. Combat roll assist, I have it turned off. And then for my slide/dive behavior, we do still have this on hybrid. Again, same thing I'm running in Warzone. This makes it to where you can tap to slide, tap to dive, and pretty much do everything you need movement wise. It definitely takes some time to get used to, and you're going to feel clunky on the map at first, but I promise once you get used to it, you're going to feel incredible. We have automatic airborne mantle turned on, which I might actually turn that off. Sprint restore, I have it turned on. Slide maintain sprint turned on. And then going down, we have always manual press, tap to slide, third person. And then for the advanced settings, we have toggle off, off, on, single tap sprint, trigger, and on. Vehicle behaviors, which I don't even think this applies to multiplayer. We have driver control, aim based, short delay, free look, and melee finishing move body shield. And then for the combat tab, at the top we have hold, ADS plus melee, hold melee, prioritize finishing move, apply all at once, hold, press. And then for the advanced tab, we have all of this right here. We have hold, ping, sprint, tac, sprint, focus, short delay, tap to reload. This is a very important setting. Usually in Warzone, you guys hear me preaching to switch this over to prioritize interact, making sure you can tap to reload, tap to loot, do everything you need. But I think for multiplayer, tap to reload is by far the best option, so you don't accidentally pick up weapons off the ground, and you can always have your reload as the main focus. Then we have on, off, independent, off, on, off. That's pretty much it for my controller settings. So like I always tell you guys, go through and use my settings as a base. tweak it a little bit and find what you feel the absolute most comfortable with. Let me get you guys my graphics settings. Now for the graphics tab, of course, I am on exclusive. I'm on a dual PC setup, so I don't have to be on borderless because I don't have to tab out of my game. I don't think this matters as much anymore. You don't have to be on exclusive to get the best performance. So run whatever you want to run right here. Then this is my monitor. This is my GPU. I am on a 240 hertz monitor, so I have a 240 refresh rate. I play on 1440p. The display gamma, I have it on 2.2 sRGB, which this setting is if you're on a monitor, and the 2.4 BT1886 is if you're on a really big TV. Like I say in all my settings videos, if you guys play this game slightly more than casual or even super casual, try to get yourself on a monitor. If you're on a big TV, you're at a huge disadvantage in every single gunfight, so definitely try to get on a monitor. The gamma / brightness, I have mine on 52. I've been seeing a lot of people say that 55 is really good for this game, or you can even go down to 50. Just find where you feel the best with and where your game looks the best, but I like 52. For the NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency, I have on plus boost, which I think if you're on plus boost, this is GPU bound or I actually don't even know, but one of these is CPU bound and one is GPU bound, but I've been on plus boost. For the eco mode, I have efficiency, and then I have off 100%. Actually, I might turn this off as well. I'm going to turn both V-Syncs off. I don't know how they got to 100%. Custom frame rate, we have custom. I think I'm going to go to unlimited fully. Reduce menu render resolution, we have optimal, off, 10 minutes, and 0. And then of course for the last setting, we have HDR. We have that turned off as well. I don't know why my settings reset a little bit, but these are the settings that I'm running for my first graphics tab. So let's hop directly into the quality tab. At the top, we have the render resolution set to 100. There's really no point to go more or less than this. Just make sure you have it at 100 so you have your full resolution. Dynamic resolution, we have it turned off. And then we have fidelity FX cast for our upscaling and sharpening, with the strength set to 100. I know when you first get on the game, it's not fidelity FX cast, so make sure you guys have this switched over. And then for the frame generation, I have turned off, the ray tracing turned off. VRAM, we have it on 70. And for the variable rate shading, we have it turned on. Now for the next settings, I'm going to scroll through kind of quick, so pause if you need to. I have certain settings a little bit higher for the details of the game, but most of my settings are set on low for the performance of the game. So for the details and textures, we have low, normal, off, normal, low, off, and low. And we got the on-demand texture streaming on optimized, the local texture on low, and the in-game video quality also set to low. I'm pretty sure when you get on the game, this is set to high. And all this is the quality of the monitors in the map. Make sure you turn this down to low. Then for the shadow and lighting, we have low, off, and low. And then for the environment, we have terrain quality on low, volumetric quality on low, the deferred physics off, and then we have everything else turned off as well. Like I said, I have a lot of settings on low or off just for the performance of the game, but certain settings you want to have a little bit higher, just a slight bit higher, just for the details of the game and make sure the game looks really good. Now for the view tab at the top, I play on 120 FOV. This is 100% personal preference. I know a lot of people, especially on multiplayer, like to go on a lower sense, or not a lower sense, a lower FOV, so the targets aren't as small. I'm just super used to 120 and I feel like I can't play on anything lower, so find what you feel the best with here. For the ADS FOV, make sure this is on affected. I know a lot of people still run independent for some reason, but what affected is going to do is when you ADS, it doesn't zoom in and you have way less visual recoil. So make sure you play on affected and not independent. For the weapon FOV, make sure you have this on wide and makes your gun look a little bit smaller. And then we have 90 and default. And then for everything else, make sure you have your motion blurs turned off. There's literally not any point at all to have these turned on. Then for the camera movement, make sure you have both set to at least 50%. And then we have third person ADS and off. That's it for my controller settings and my graphic settings. So let's hop directly into the audio settings. At the top for the volumes, this is 100% for you and your setup, but I run 80, 0, 60, 80, and 30. You want to make sure you have your master game volume and effects volume a little bit higher, because these are the different like noises that are going to give you a lot of information. And then going down, I have default system device, Windows default, enhanced headphone mode turned off. For the audio mix, I've been going back and forth between Sucker Punch and headphone bass cut. Both are really good. I feel like I get a little bit better footstep audio on Sucker Punch, so I'm going to keep sticking with this audio mix. Mono audio, make sure you guys have this turned off. I've explained it in past settings videos. It basically takes all your different audio channels and puts it into one, so you can't tell if somebody's above or below or behind you or left, right, anything. You can't tell any directional audio because it's all going through one channel. So make sure you have that turned off. And then I have off. And then the tinnitus sound, you can turn this on if you want to, but I do have it turned off. Then for voice chat, same thing I was saying before. This is 100% for you and your setup, but I'll just scroll through real quick, show you guys what I'm running. But this is literally 100% for just your setup. I can't help you at all here. Then for the interface tab, at the top for the multiplayer HUD presets, I have it fully on standard. If you want to, you can change it for like the zombies look, but I think it's a little bit corny. And then for the layout, I'm still running standard. For the scale, we have 0.30 just to make everything a little bit bigger. I actually don't want to like zoom in my HUD bounds this time like I normally do on Warzone, so I just turned it up a little bit so everything's a little bit bigger on my screen. For the widget visibility, we have it turned on. Everything's turned on. Visibility, again, everything on, pretty much all default here. And then like I said, for the HUD bounds, I'm not zooming it in for multiplayer. I feel like it looks really weird, especially with the compass at the top, so I've been leaving it default. And going down, we have fade after 10 seconds, default, with the radar setting turned off. A lot like mono audio, I've explained it so many times before, but you want to make sure this is turned off, because this is going to make it to where you can't see the terrain or the actual map on your mini map. It's just going to be like a blank white radar look. Make sure you have that turned off, like I said. And then you have on, and then for the crosshair dot, make sure you guys go in here and turn it on to larger or largest, whatever you feel better with, and then make it a really vibrant color that catches your eye. I've been playing on like a really bright yellow for a long time now, but you can do whatever you want here. And then we have 100, like I said, the super vibrant color, on, and then for the motion reduction, I have everything turned off, so I don't even have to go into the advanced settings. Everything's turned off there. But that is my graphics, controller, audio, and interface settings. Actually, I think I skipped something. Yeah, I definitely did. Readability, yeah, off, default. I don't know how we started on gameplay HUD. How did that even happen? Then we have default, and then a very important setting, because I'm actually not running any NVIDIA filters, but I get so many comments saying that my game looks phenomenal, looks super vibrant. This is all that I changed. So we're gonna go in here. You want to make sure all these settings are a little bit more vibrant than they are default. I went through and just turned up the saturation on all of them. And then for the color filter settings, turn it on to filter 2. Have it on both for the target and set both intensities set up to 100. This is what makes my game look so good and so vibrant, to the point that people actually think I have a super insane NVIDIA filter turned on, which I never do. Then for the global tab, again, I don't know how I skipped this. We have controller on. Actually, I'm going to turn that off. I don't know why I have that on. Off. For the telemetry, these are little boxes in the top left of my screen. Right now you can see my FPS, but I actually have the first 3 turned on. I have FPS, server latency, and packet loss. I'm pretty sure this is also on console, but you can't customize it. You can turn all this on if you want, if you're on PC. I don't really find any need to. I just turn the first 3 on, and then I have default on and on. But that's all my settings that I'm running for Black Ops 7. I feel like settings was a big problem for me when I first got on the game, and now I'm feeling incredible on the map. I'm dropping a bunch of high kill streaks. I'm going crazy, getting gold guns, doing everything I need to. So test out everything I just showed you guys, and like I said, use it as a base, tweak it for yourself, and find wherever you're the most comfortable. Let me know down in the comments below if this video helped you guys out at all, and if it did, make sure you guys hit that sub button. That's it for the video.